Biosecurity has played a critical role in reducing risk and shaping our nation to become one of the few countries in the world to remain free from the world's most invasive pests and disease. While our status as an island nation has been a key factor in maintaining this position, a number of factors, including growth in trade volumes, are putting pressure on the system. Australia has over 60,000 kilometers of coastline, offering a variety of pathways for exotic pests, weeds, and disease to enter the country. The Department of Screens, inspects, and clears millions of mail parcels, cargo containers, plants, and animals. And of course, people are no exception, using X ray machines, pre and post entry quarantine and surveillance programs, and detected dogs. Our border security is our first line of defense for protecting our environment and social amenity. To protect Australia, we must apply biosecurity measures offshore, at the border, and onshore, investing in research and new ways of understanding and detecting risks, sharing international resources and intelligence, and continually reviewing our risk settings helps prevent the introduction, establishment, and spread of pests, weeds, and disease in Australia. The use of surveillance and monitoring of the highest risk areas is critical, along with border control activities, which focus on managing potential biosecurity threats at airports, seaports, and mail centers. Our biosecurity system protects agriculture, forestry, and fishery export industries worth $51 billion, or a tourism sector worth $50 billion, environmental assets worth more than $5.7 trillion, and more than 1.6 million jobs. All this, which provides us with the way of life we value so much, will be at risk if we fail to maintain a strong focus on biosecurity and managing potential threats. Not only do we depend on healthy environment for fresh water, fresh food, and a prosperous society, but it also allows us to protect the culture and values of our wider community and First Nations people. Biosecurity levy bill scrapped by federal government and huge win for farmers. The federal government has scrapped its proposed biosecurity levy, which would have seen $50 million per year collected from the agriculture sector. The proposed levy was deeply unpopular with farming groups and failed to get the support of the coalition or the Greens. Minister for Agriculture, Forestry and Fishery Julie Collins said the government had listened to farmers and withdrew the bill on Wednesday. The Albanese Labour government will continue to work with farmers and stakeholders so producers are involved in the policy solution that protect their livelihoods, Ms. Collins said. We acknowledge that the Agriculture Biosecurity Protection Levies Bill will not be part of the solution, which is why we supported its removal from the Senate. In 2023, the federal government announced a $1.03 billion biosecurity funding package over 4 years, and the $267 million per year ongoing from 2027 to 28. Farmers celebrate the biosecurity tax being scrapped. Farmers across the nation are celebrating the federal parliament's decision to discharge the biosecurity protection levy, effectively winning the tax. National Farmers Federation President David Jochinke welcomed the decision and thanked the Minister for Agriculture Julie Collins for listening to farmers' concern. This is a huge win for farmers. The Minister and the Senate have listened. This tax was deeply flawed and unfair to farmers. We appreciate the Minister's ongoing commitment to ensuring the sustainability of our biosecurity system. I also tip my hat to our members, industry stakeholders, and the thousands of farmers who voiced their concern about this tax. Together, we put up a fair fight and we are relieved to close the book on this idea. The agricultural sector was united in its opposition to this tax, and we are just as united in our commitment to protecting our country's biosecurity. Farmers already contribute significantly to the system, and we look forward to working with the government on policy that strengthen our defense against the pest and disease without adding extra cost on farmers. Biosecurity in food and agriculture. Biosecurity is a key requirement for achieving the goals set out in the FAO strategic framework by promoting, developing, and reinforcing policy and regulatory frameworks for food, agriculture, fishery, and forestry. Biosecurity has direct relevance to food safety, the conservation of the environment, including biodiversity, and sustainability of agriculture. Biosecurity encompasses all policy and regulatory frameworks, including instruments and activities to manage risk associated with food and agriculture, including relevant environments risk, including fishery and forestry, and constitutes three sectors, namely food safety, plant life and health, and the animal life and health. These sectors include food production in relation to food safety, the introduction of plant pest, animal pest, and disease, and zoonosis, the introduction and release of genetically modified organisms and their products, and the introduction and safe management of invasive alien species and genotypes. Growing interest in biosecurity is a result of major international developments such as globalization of the world economy, the rapid increase in volume of communication, transport, and trade, technological progress, and growing awareness of problems faced by biological diversity and environment. Members require effective, efficient, improved, and updated international frameworks and standards to support appropriate nations' action. Members also require national frameworks to regulate, manage, and control biosecurity for food and agriculture, including forestry and fishery, thus permitting practical implementation, increasing cost effectiveness, and improving consistency across sector. Recent developments related to biosecurity in food and agriculture include the tendency toward integration of and cooperation across sectors. Internationally, this tendency is demonstrated in the WTO agreement on the application of sanitary and phytosanitary measures and the Convention on Biological Diversity and its Cartagena, Cartagena Protocol or biosafety. It is further addressed in the FAO WHO Codex Alimentarius, the International Plant Protection Convention and the FAO Code of Conduct for Responsible Fishery. The IPPC makes a key contribution to biosecurity by reducing the risk of introduction of plant pests that may affect agriculture and the environment. Doing the important, not the urgent, biosecurity on farm. Biosecurity underpins Australian agriculture, but people are so busy running their farms they don't think about it. So says National Farmers Federation's Biosecurity Task Force Chairman Ron Cullen. Ron is an advocate for change in the way farmers think about biosecurity. People are a bit skeptical about taking the extra step and putting up a sign at the gate saying, please respect farm biosecurity, contact us before entering. Yet I am sure we all know how important it is. Ron said, sometimes we see it as a bit of a luxury until we get a pest or disease incursion, and then the message is reinforced that biosecurity is our insurance policy. But what if we don't keep that insurance up to date? If we don't think about keeping pest and disease at bay, then we can pay a much bigger price. It is crucial that everyone is aware that farms should only be entered by people with permission to ensure they don't bring foreign material onto the farm. Our goal is to ensure that non intensive farmers are just as aware of cleaning equipment, vehicles, and personal gear before entering farms. Whatever the enterprise be the whatever the enterprise be they livestock or crops, orchards or vines, Ron said. Risk management and biosecurity management are largely about prevention, especially because risks often sit outside the realm of non pest and disease. It is crucial farmers don't differentiate between exotic and endemic diseases on farm, as both have the same preventive measures. Endemic when you tackle endemic pest and disease, you will also catch the exotics, Ron said. For many, the term biosecurity invokes the idea of being something out there, something remote from our day to day activities, or something that is the responsibility of the federal government. However, biosecurity is a concern for all Australian, both farmers and the general community in our interconnected world. The question is no longer whether a biosecurity incursion will occur, but when, as evidenced with the recent spread of the red fire and ant. Biosecurity is everyone's business. It ranges from macro level international threat to ensuring profitability on farm, Ron said. Please subscribe, like, and comment.